Hello and welcome to the English edition of the Scan Daily News. My name is Garis Duma. The projected changes to the state budget by the end of the year have caused intense debate in the Parliamentary Committee of Economy. According to the Minister of Finance, Shkëlqim Çani, predictions for the state of the economy by the end of the year are not optimistic. Meanwhile, Democratic Deputy Sherefeddin Shehu accused the government of lacking transparency in regards to the changes brought about to the 2013 budget. The end of the year will find Albania at a debt level that reaches 69%, while economic growth will be only 1.2%. These are the predictions made by the Minister of Finance, Shkëlqim Çani, during the discussion with the Parliamentary Commission of Economy on the normative act and for the changes to be made to the state budget in 2013. Changes in fiscal indicators predict that the 2013 budget will have spending cuts of about 16.2 billion, of which about 10 billion are current expenditures. Also, a reduction of income is forecasted as well as an increase in deficit, which in turn will lead to the growth of debt. According to Minister Çani, the reduction of income to the state budget is due to the poor performance of the Tax and Customs Administration. The Democratic Deputy and former number 2 of the Ministry of Finance, Sherefeddin Shehu, accused the government for a lack of transparency in the changes brought to the 2013 budget. Shehu also said that a further increase in debt would bring serious consequences for the economy. The normative act was approved due to mild changes in the 2013 state budget. It was consequently approved with only the majority votes of the members of the Parliamentary Commission of Economy. Meanwhile, the 4 members of the Democratic Party voted against its approval. Support for the professional education of employees will further increase the textile industry in Albania. This is the main problem of this industry's entrepreneurs, according to whom facilities are needed and the requests have been made and brought to executive attention. The textile industry presents a list of requests to the government that must be met in order to increase income and job growth. The head of the National Chamber of Confection Productions, Gjergj Gjika, highlights for Scan TV that the main duty of the executive should be the creation of a professional multifunctional center to form the industry's employees. Meanwhile, Gjika ordered a series of other interventions to be made as to stimulate job openings for 3 to 5 years with a fixed salary, incentives with modern technology, enabling grants for exporting companies, and etc. The business of textile clothing and footwear apparel goods is one of the industries with the highest number of employees in the country and significant to the economy. Currently, the people that work in this industry have about 9 years of primary education and secondary education. About a week ago, the Assembly elected Petrit Ahmeti as the head of the Energy Regulatory Office. In an interview with RTV Scan, Ahmeti explained the strategy that will follow this institution for market liberalization in order to improve the legal framework for consumer protection. The energy market in Albania will continue to liberalize, providing a more solid standard for the protection of private investment. The head of ERE, Petrit Ahmeti, told RTV Scan that cooperation with regional countries is taking place to improve legislation and expand in the energy sector in order to attract as much private investment as possible. Ahmeti also said that this cooperation will improve the legal framework regarding the operation of retail companies to supply power. This measure will be taken to ensure a broader protection of Albanian consumers. Petrit Ahmeti was elected head of the ERE by Parliament a few weeks ago, replacing the former leader, Sokol Ramadani. Petrit Ahmeti has a vast experience in the energy sector, where from 2003 to 2007 he was a member of the Board of Commissioners of the ERE. The future of the electric company remains unclear. Currently, there are 3 alternatives: nationalization, privatization, or a public-private partnership. The government is more focused on nationalization of the company. At the end of this week's poll on the website of RTV Scan, 62% of participants believe that the future of the company ČEZ Distribution should be that of a public-private partnership. The energy sector in Albania for years has been in a difficult situation. About 96% of its needs are provided by water resources, but domestic production fails to cover all the demands. On the other hand, the distribution of energy continues to face theft by consumers. Earlier this year, the Czech company ČEZ, which was first privatized in power distribution, failed to reform the sector and the regulatory agency was forced to remove the license. In this way, energy distribution to date is under the temporary administration of the state. But until when will this situation continue? At the end of this week's poll on the website of RTV Scan, 62% of participants believe that the future of the company CEZ distribution should be that of a public-private partnership. Currently, there are two other alternatives, such as immediate nationalization or privatization. And it seems that the government is thinking more about the first alternative. Earlier this month, Administrator Sahid Tolapi has announced his resignation on the grounds that he did not agree with the government's strategy for the nationalization of the company, while recently the Board of Commissioners of the ERE selected Arben Seferin for this post. High prices in air travel market are a result of the high fees Tirana Airport offers to companies. According to the Competition Authority, this is the main cause that prevents competition in this market. On the other hand, Bel Air, which is the only company in the market, has created a dominant position for most destinations. The air travel market today is among the most problematic in Albania. Besides the high prices, travelers often face delays of flights and failure of service obligations. In particular, the problems associated with Bel Air, which in recent years has remained the only company in the Albanian market, thanks to the suspicious actions of authorities in eliminating competing entities. Consequently, Bel Air has established a dominant position for most destinations. The new government is committed to increase competition in the market and to ensure the protection of consumer rights. But the problems go beyond the airline market phenomenon Bel Air. The Competition Authority has analyzed the market situation and concluded that one of the main barriers in competition is the very high rates Tirana Airport has for flight companies. The prices of the concessionaire Tirana International Airport is estimated to be among the most expensive in Europe, which constitutes a barrier to competition. Besides the small size of the market, airport fees are another obstacle in the operation of low-cost companies in Albania. One of the conclusions of the Competition Authority, which will be officially presented to the competent bodies of the new government, is to promote competition and the need to revise the tariff concessions. Experts believe that the free legalization of buildings by the new government is impossible due to the toll it would take on the state budget. According to them, free services can be provided only when dealing with adequate documentation. The government is unable to fulfill the promise of free legalization of informal settlements for around 80,000 construction projects across the country. Economy expert Zev Preci explains for Scan TV that the state coffers, especially in this situation, cannot afford the cost of compensation or legalization to the owners of these buildings. According to him, everyone should take responsibility to pay, and because of a certain category, not all taxpayers should be penalized. According to Preci, the only thing that the current government can do is provide free services in dealing with documentation. Free legalization of informal settlements is a promise made by the Socialist Party before the parliamentary elections. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister Edi Rama repeated a few days earlier his promise that the government will legalize without cost about 80,000 illegal constructions in the country. Thank you for following our English edition. My name is Garis Duma.